Good morning, everybody. Welcome along to Football Talks. This is your Sunday morning live show where we dive into the morning papers and tabloids and all of the news circulating online around every big news outlet out there for every Premier League club. We're bringing you all of the information. Honestly, there's so many ways I could start the show this morning. Good morning, everybody. If you are live chat right now, this is a premiere as well. Obviously, thank you for joining us. We're going to get through all of the news as quickly as we possibly can because there's so much to talk about this morning. I have a private engagement again this morning. Sorry, I'm not completely live, but we are basically live covering everything after what has happened. The Club World Cup, Arsenal, Partey, everything that's going on with the transfer window, everything that's going on with Chelsea right now, UEFA bans, fines, transfer embargo. Honestly, there's so much that we could get into right now. We're going to start with, of course, the Arsenal situation. And there's a lot of transfer news going on with Arsenal. We could talk about Sesko. We could talk about Gyökeres. We could talk about Madueke. We could talk about Gabriel Martinelli for €85 million to Al Nassr. We've got all of that to come, but honestly, does it matter when you've got news like what we've heard this week about Thomas Partey? This alone is sickening. It really is. I don't know which way. I've sort of held off on what I have actually thought about this. I've not said too much on this. I've just waited for more and more reports to come out. And this is one that gets me. There's a report that's come out from The Athletic. And I'm going to start this. And I want all of your thoughts on this. So get into your conversations in the live chats. Obviously, please do. Obviously, drop your comments in below if you're playing catch-up on this morning's live show as well. But this is the one that got me with Thomas Partey, and this is probably the most damning one of all for Arsenal. And it's embarrassing for the football club. It's disgusting, to be honest. And they knew about this. And this is what's been said from The Athletic. It says, since his first arrest in July 2022, so 3 years ago, Thomas Partey was arrested and questioned by police and bailed 7 times while playing for Arsenal. 7 times he's been arrested, questioned and bailed on charges like this. And Arsenal have known about this. They haven't suspended him. They haven't dealt with this in any particular way at all. These are the moments and these are the things that are going on that just sicken you, don't they? Like, how is he getting away with this? How have Arsenal allowed him to continue playing with all of these stories going on? You look at what City did with Mendy. You look at what Manchester United did with Mason Greenwood. They suspended the players. They dealt with the situation in-house. Of course, it's going to come out of house, but at least they stood their ground professionally and stopped this player featuring and turning it into an absolute circus, what it could have been. But for Arsenal to try and brush this under the carpet, I think is an absolute disgrace. It really is. I am absolutely... I don't know what the word is to actually describe it. You tell me in the chat what word you would use to actually describe this situation with Arsenal and what's happening with Thomas Partey. And now he's gone, and now he's been arrested again. He's been released, and they don't have to deal with it anymore. It makes them look even worse. Now all this has just come out after he's left Arsenal. Does that not just wind you up even more and make Arsenal look like more of a corrupt football club? And that's the word, I think, corrupt, and just like... I mean, there's different words here. I'll just read through this. This is like a little piece from The Athletic. Morally and emotionally, I find it difficult to accept how Arsenal has approached the Thomas Partey situation. This is The Athletic talking here, quote unquote. Even if you make the argument for Arsenal being wary of the legal ramifications of suspending him, what can be made of their apparent desire to extend his contract beyond this summer? Again, yeah, like contracts that he's been given in this time. Arsenal have long led the way in championing the women's game and have traditionally been held up as the club that does things the right way. Yet, they have acted in a manner that raises questions about the sport's moral compass and how it really views allegations of sexual assault towards women. Partey denies the claims, but they are serious, and Arsenal have acted in a way that has left many fans feeling uncomfortable and conflicted. That's The Athletic. straight from The Athletic. And when you've got big major publications like that talking that way, it sort of hits home even more. It's like you're trying to think why Arsenal have done this. And like the words there, uncomfortable and conflicted. How are the Arsenal fans feeling right now? What's going through their heads? It's disgusting how Arsenal have conducted themselves through this. That's the word that I would use there. The fact that this man has been arrested, questioned and bailed and released 7 times since the first offence in July 2022. I'm not having that. I'm sorry. That is an absolute disgrace from Arsenal Football Club. And they are now going to be tarnished with that brush. And they deserve everything that's coming to them in terms of the way that people are going to talk about them and the way that they're going to be publicised, like that piece there in The Athletic. That, I think, is all on them, and that's what they deserve more than anything else right now. I just think it's absolutely disgusting how Arsenal have dealt with everything here in this situation, and quite rightly agree with all of what's been written already. Moving on anyway, we have to talk about football, and it is Arsenal in the news regarding the transfer matters right now. I mentioned the possibility of Rodrigo moving to Arsenal before, and everyone getting excited about that, and all of a sudden, Madueke, terms agreed. I don't understand this at all. Like some people would argue, why is Madueke going from Chelsea to Arsenal? I think he's going to a better club, personally. I think Arsenal are better than Chelsea. I think they've proved that over the last few years consistently. They are a better club. But it's not really an overwhelming signing, is it, this, by Arsenal? Madueke? It's not really going to put fear in many opposition fans' minds, even into opposition managers or players. I don't think Madueke is that type of player that gets you off your seat or makes you think, oh, we're going to have to change tactics today here. You're going from Rodrigo to Madueke. I'm sorry. Like, that is the biggest come down ever. That's like going in and ordering a Big Mac and coming out with a bleeding Filet-O-Fish. Like, there's nothing, is there, really, there? You can't compare the two at all. There's no argument for Arsenal buying Madueke. That's what I'm saying here in this one. And again, like, Arsenal fans, get into the comment section if you're watching or you're catching up with this video, and everybody else too. What are your initial thoughts of Madueke to Arsenal? Do you think that this is actually a convincing transfer? Like, if you're going to spend serious money, which I think Madueke is going to fetch, 40 million-ish? I mean, he's only been at Chelsea for a few seasons, couple of seasons I think it is, from when he came in from PSV. But, I got no idea what the thinking is behind this. I cannot explain it. I've got nothing as to why they would buy him. They've got better players already in that team. I would start Trossard ahead of Madueke, personally. Some people disagree. Some people actually think that Madueke is a good player. Look, I don't want to put him down, but I think it's the fact that what I'm dealing with here is I've gone from Rodrigo to Madueke, and that, I like, yeah, you can see where I'm going with it. And for the love of God, like, if you were thinking of selling Martinelli to Al Nassr for 85 million euros, which apparently is a story going the rounds, cannot see that happening. But just in case, like, just to imagine a scenario where you would have Arsenal selling one of their brightest young academy players in Martinelli, and then bringing in Madueke, a young player from Chelsea, who really isn't on the same page, I don't think, anyway. I would take Martinelli all day long if I was Arsenal. But look, I don't see Martinelli signing for Al Nassr. He's too young, he's too good, and he definitely deserves a better platform to play his football. So I can't see that happening. But Madueke is happening, and it's real, and it's been confirmed by Romano and David Ornstein. So again, like, get your head around that. I've got no idea what the thinking is here with Arsenal. Got no idea at all what they think they're buying here or how this is improving. Maybe squad depth. But if I'm Madueke, I'm staying at Chelsea. I think I've got a better chance there, to be honest. But look, hey, we'll see how it pans out, and we'll see if he does end up turning into a better player, or obviously. But I look at that and go, no. Sesko and Gyökeres on Arsenal. And again, it's Arsenal side of things. Everything is revolving around Arsenal at the moment, isn't it? Apparently, Gyökeres has had contact now and spoken face-to-face with Mikel Arteta. It's going from one to the other. So, apparently, Gyökeres has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. Apparently, Benjamin Sesko has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. They need to make a decision between the two. Why is it taking so long? And why are you buying the likes of Norgard and the Azpilicueta? Not Azpilicueta, sorry. Arrizabalaga. I got that name wrong there, didn't I? And the likes of Madueke before you buy your striker. Just get the striker in, Mikel. Seriously, actually make it look like you are going to bring in a striker. Make him your top priority. For God's sake, even opposition fans now are crying out for Arsenal to sign a bleeding striker. It's getting ridiculous now. Mikel, get on with it, mate. Seriously. Why are you talking to both of these? Surely he's got one in mind that he really wants. The rumours are that Mikel Arteta wants Benjamin Sesko, and that's his top target. But he's had his words now with Victor Gyökeres. Apparently, Victor Gyökeres, according to Sporting and reports in Portugal now, will go for 70 million. That's their asking price. That's what they're willing to accept. That's a lot of bread. I'm sorry, that's a lot of money for Victor Gyökeres, and I think that might push Arsenal towards Sesko. But let's see how this one develops. Eventually, Arsenal will sign a striker, I think, this window, and all Arsenal fans can lie easy again. Well, then again, with that first story that we talked about, are they ever going to be able to lie easy? I've known what this club has covered up over the last 3 years with Thomas Partey. Honestly, that's the good and the bad and the craziness of Arsenal, all rolled into 10 minutes there worth of live show. And I really cannot even be interested in anything else that Arsenal do after what we heard about Thomas Partey. I just look at that football club in a completely different light now, and it's embarrassing. They are an embarrassment for doing what they have done. Completely agree with the Athletic stance on this one. And for them to cover that up and not deal with it, shame on you, Arsenal. Shame on you. That is an absolute disgrace. And nothing else matters. It doesn't matter what Arsenal do in the market. They're going to be tarnished with that brush this season. And that's their fault. It's their fault. So I'm moving on. Anyway, into their rivals, Manchester City. And we all know that Denzel Dumfries has got a release clause. Apparently, Manchester City are now going for Denzel Dumfries, having sold Kyle Walker to Burnley. Where did that one come from? Kyle Walker to Burnley. Let's see. Going from the San Siro and Milan to Turf Moor and Burnley. There are come downs and then there are come downs. If anyone has been to Burnley and Turf Moor, look, if you are from Burnley, no disrespect, but my God, it is not Milan. You know, some people will say Milan isn't that great, but I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot better than Burnley. Premier League football, though, 2-year deal signed. I really didn't see that one coming. I didn't. And Kyle Walker is back in the Premier League, but he's in the claret of the Burnley Football Club under Scott Parker. So, interesting signing, very good signing, I would have thought, for Burnley there. They've added absolute bags of experience to their side in Kyle Walker there, and he will improve them, I think. He will give them that experience that they need coming back up again. Can they make it right this season, having come up and gone straight back down under company? I'll see what Scott Parker has got in him, and I think that is a weird one. But yes, off the back of Kyle Walker being sold to Burnley, City apparently are moving in on Dumfries. Now, I don't know. Interesting, very interesting. He's cheap, 25 million apparently. I can see why City would do it. Again, proven quality player, a brilliant Champions League campaign last season. Obviously, was fighting for the Scudetto over there in Italy as well. Came short with Inter Milan, with Napoli winning it. And I think he's, at that price, a real snap. It is. And Manchester City, obviously, they've gone a bit quiet in the transfer market. We've been over in the States and competed in the Club World Cup. But still, now that they're back, you'd expect Manchester City to ramp up things again and start getting down to some more transfer business. And Kyle Walker gone on a permanent this time. And obviously, they are looking at Denzel Dumfries, like we've just said then. So, yes, that one again is very, very interesting. So, yeah, let's see what happens with that. If they do bring in Dumfries, then that is more danger for the rest of the Premier League. It really is. But Let's see, first of all. I wouldn't put it past City. They have got some good deals done already this summer, haven't they? So let's see what happens from there. In terms of Chelsea themselves, very busy, well in the Club World Cup. Gittins is announced. João Pedro is over. They've already got Delap, so they've got 3 forwards in. They could be about to buy another midfielder from the Premier League as well, which is going to hijack the potential move of Spurs for Mohamed Kudus. So in the news is that Chelsea are indeed looking to hijack the Spurs deal for Mohamed Kudus. Now, we've been told through all of the reports that have come out that Spurs' bid for Mohamed Kudus has been turned down, rejected by West Ham outright. 50 million is not enough. There is a release clause for Kudus of 85 million quid. Nobody's going to meet that. Not even Chelsea are stupid enough to bid that. Although saying that, they are about to just sell Madueke. They are the club in the best position with PSR this season already. They have got money to burn right now, Chelsea. And Kudus going into them. Would I see it happening? Where's he going to play? That's the question I would ask. He plays centrally normally. I mean, you've got Cole Palmer in the attacking sense there. Behind him, you've got the likes of Caicedo. You've got Enzo Fernandez. You've got Lavia there as well. You know what I mean? Like strength in depth and all that. Yeah, challenging on all fronts next season, Chelsea. But Kudus, where does he fit in? By the way, keep your comments coming in on all of these topics. The Arsenal stuff, the City and the Chelsea, please, everybody. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about Liverpool transfer business. They have obviously more important matters at hand, and that is the horrific events of the last few days involving their forward Diogo Jota. Honestly, every time I said this on FUTV before as well, every time I think about that and his family and teammates, and it makes me fill up, and it's horrendous to think about. You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. And again, like the football world will come together and support the Liverpool fan base, Porto, Portugal, his family. He will get the report. He will get the support. A classy act from Liverpool, actually honouring Jota's contract for the next 2 years and paying the family to help the kids and his wife in all of this nightmare that they're going through right now. So well done, Liverpool, on that. Nothing to really talk about with them at all. We get on anything else. Nothing else matters. But City, Arsenal and Chelsea, they're all covered. We are going to be very close to seeing a here we go on Anthony Elanga to Newcastle. That's all of the Premier League clubs done. In terms of Manchester United's look on the transfer window with all of this, you're looking at the likes of Rashford and possibly Garnacho. If they don't end up getting their move, where are they going to go? Where are they going to end up? That's a big question for them now, because Elanga has gone to Newcastle. Obviously, Chelsea are bringing in their forwards that they have done in Gittins, Delap, João Pedro, possibly even Kudus, like we've said. Arsenal are going to bring in Madueke now. City and Liverpool are not going to buy Garnacho. So all the Champions League clubs, barring Spurs, have already got players in Garnacho's position. And then you're looking at Spurs. Would they spend that money on Garnacho? I don't think they would. There's no way that Levy's going to spend 60 million. So that again there, with all the Premier League clubs there, the big ones, the Champions League teams, all making significant moves apart from Spurs. Still waiting under Thomas Frank for anything to happen at all. So, yeah, time will tell on that one. But, yeah, that's all of the Premier League clubs are dealt with there in one. Let me know what you think about all of them and everything that's happened in them moves so far as well in the comment section, everybody. On to the Club World Cup and that horrendous injury. It looks like a season-ending injury for Jamal Musiala. Oh, God. Is there any point in this Club World Cup? Is there any point in it? These players, some people would say, should be out on holiday right now, relaxing after an absolutely mental season. But no, they're playing another 6-7 games out there in blazing heat, busting absolute guts all over the place. And then bang, you were waiting for the big one to happen. And here comes the trial now, really, for FIFA and football in general. These players playing too many games. Is there any point in the Club World Cup is my last question of the show this morning. Should we even be doing it? I just don't know why. It's a money spinner, obviously funded by the Saudis. Funnily enough, the Newcastle ownership model funding this. And it's worth a lot of money. And do you know what? I get it. With the Brazilian teams like Fluminense and Palmeiras, these teams have earned more in this one tournament than they would in a whole year over in Brazil. It's massive for them. I get that side of it. I really do. But the European clubs and the amount of games that these players have to play with internationals on top of that, it's non-stop. And you know what? The Club World Cup teams, I think, are at a disadvantage going into the new season as well. I really do think that this is not going to help them whatsoever. Money's great, and it does help a lot with PSR and balancing books and everything like that. I get it. But let's not forget, it costs money to take their teams out there to these tournaments as well. There's a lot of outgoings in this. You think you've got to take over what? Possibly 70 members of staff, including your squad, over to do these tournaments. That's not cheap. That's hotels, that's travel, that's food, drink, that's everything. That's going to cost a fortune for these clubs. Yeah, it may be minuscule compared to what they're actually going to earn, but they do have to get far in the competition to earn quite a bit of money. So, again, all of that, does it fall into insignificance when you've got moments like that with Musiala going down injured? What looks like a leg break. That could be his season over. That's disgusting, isn't it? That's horrible to think that way. But that's what this tournament has brought. I know it's one of them moments that it can happen at any point to anybody, and it was nobody's fault. But the fault is that there's another game there, and they're playing a competitive match. That's the fault. That's the problem you've got. Let me know what you think about that. Is there any point in the Club World Cup? What do you think of Arsenal after what they've done with Thomas Partey? Are Chelsea going to be the dark horses? Let me know what you think of their transfer business and everyone else's transfer business. Get all your comments in. Thank you for joining us in the live chat as well this morning, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you later on FUTV, of course, for the evening show. So make sure that you're there for that one. Make sure you hit the subscribe button up on your screen as well, please, everybody, for Football Talks. We are moving. We are new just this year, and we're already over 5,000. 6,000 subscribers is our next mark. Please pop a like on the video as well, everyone. And I'll see you all later on. Have a fantastic Sunday, everyone.